We are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Red Devils Experience. How are you all doing? It's good to be back. I'm glad to see you all in the chat. It's been a while. I hope everybody is doing well. Let's test to make sure that everything is good and running. Sounds all right. Sounds good. I see a couple of the people in the chat, so it's good to see you all. Richard's in here. Lyle's in here. Rajat's in here. What's up, everybody? How you all doing? We're leading off today's show with Manuel Ugarte deal. Of course, this has been the talk for the past, I don't know, month or two. So we're gonna get straight into that, and then we got a couple other things from Ten Hag, a couple potential outgoings, and then we kind of just do a free for all at the end. But I hope everybody's doing well. It's good to be back. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But let's get into the show. Let's get into the news. And yeah, we'll go from there. So this was from early in the day from Ben Jacobs. PSG and Manchester United now in advanced talks for Manuel Ugarte for a loan with obligation formula. United are optimistic. PSG have stuck to their 60 million euro valuation, but clubs are much closer to an agreement now. PSG prepared to let talks run into next week if needed. And that was from Ben Jacobs. We all know Ben Jacobs. Credible guy. The follow-up from that came from Fabrizio a few hours later, saying that negotiations for Manuel Ugarte are in the final stages. The deal will be an initial loan with a buy obligation. So that was Fabrizio. Obviously, everybody knows Fabrizio. Fabrizio's Fabrizio. We don't need to explain Fabrizio. But it's always good to put in Fabrizio because, it's very solid. Then, a few hours later down the line, this is probably the more recent stuff, came from Duncan Castles, who is also very credible and well known, saying that PSG are now telling him, they expect the deal to be done. They expect to secure the 60 million transfer fee they've resolutely asked for throughout this process. They say they will not be doing a deal on a loan basis for the first season with an obligation to buy. So, Duncan Castle's then coming out later and basically saying the opposite of what Fabrizio Romano has said. So we have a little discrepancy here, but I'm not too worried about that because I think the deal will, as Lyle has said, there we land soon. I've seen that has taken off in my time on vacation, which is absolutely hilarious. I love it. I love when things like that happen. And good for that kid. He deserves it. And then following up on that, Duncan Castle said they want the cash and full transfer sum as full as possible, which is technically a problem for us, but I'm not worried because I think there will be a middle ground to be found there. Now, this piece also came out that Duncan Castles also talked about, saying one of the reasons this Ugarte deal is being delayed is because it comes down to something of a battle of egos between Nasser Al-Khalifi, who owns, or whatever, is the president of PSG, and Sir Jim Ratcliffe. People tried to say there was a separation between Qatar's bid for United and the ownership of PSG. However, my guidance throughout the process was that it was a state-run attempt to purchase United. Qatar lost, Ratcliffe won, and as I'm being told, Khalifi wants to remind Ratcliffe that he can't get his way with everything. Now, I think that last bit there is a bit reaching. I think it's a bit reaching. I would hope it's actually a bit reaching because that's just that would kind of be sad. But at the same time, I feel like it's a bit reaching only for the part of the fact that it just seems a little TV show written esque. Like, we tried to buy United, he beat him out to buy United. Now we're gonna get our revenge and put him in his place by making him pay the 60 million because they don't want to pay the 60 million. I think it's a little. I think it seems a little like it's like a TV script to me. It seems a little too good to be true. So I'm not too worried about that. PSG have said they wanted 60 million since always they wanted 60 million, and we said we're not going to pay 60 million. And I think somewhere in the middle, an agreement will be found. For sure, for sure. But we need to get this Ugarte deal done. I think we will get it done because I think the club has pretty much stated that we need to get this deal done. We need another midfielder. Everybody knows we need another midfielder. We cannot go into this season with the midfield we technically still have. And adding a player like Ugarte to our team is a necessity. Is a necessity. I think we see in Casemiro, very good player, can still make an impact. But at his age, with his legs, um, can he last this entire season at that level? I don't think so. And I think that's why we need Ugarte. I think the club knows we need Ugarte. And I think that's why that it will get done. Let me go into the chat real quick now. Axe Lord's in here. Axe, good to see you. Try not to be rude. I have abandonment issues. It was a long absence. Many things have happened and have already been discussed. So many Man U channels grew this summer. Alas, you are back. Yes, thank you. So the reason why I kind of went dark was because I wasn't able to keep up with all the news. I was very busy, enjoying my vacation, of course, but I was very busy and I couldn't keep up with the news as I usually do. And therefore I just felt like I had to do it when I came back because I couldn't come and do this and not be informed and pretend to have conversations with you guys. Plus the equipment situation wasn't great either, the internet, as many of you know. So it is what it is. But we're back, we're ready to go, and we've come, at the good final stage of the summer transfer window. The season has started officially. I watched the match against Fulham. I watched the entire match. I thought we played good. Um, I heard some complaints. But first game of the season, I think there was slight improvements that I seen already from the previous season. And we got the 3 points, so I'm not complaining a lot about that, and we could talk about that a little bit later if you want. How reliable is Duncan Castles? Not familiar with him. He's reliable. He's very reliable. Um, yeah, he's been around for quite some time, and he's been reliable for quite some time. So, yeah. But it's just a contrast between stories, and most likely, like always, like usual, the truth, I guess, in the stories between Duncan Castles and Fabrizio, and I think the first one was um the first source was Ben Jacobs, is probably somewhere in the middle. Um Rajat's asking, what about Amrabat to come about 10 or 13 million, or let's maybe let McTominay go? Well, we do have an update on McTominay as well. The problem with McTominay is he doesn't seem like he wants to leave. I did see something that I might be wrong because I was still on vacation at this point, but there was something between McTominay and Fulham going back and forth. And one of the updates that I saw is that basically McTominay didn't want to join Fulham. Either that or he priced himself out, making some ridiculous demands. And Fulham pulled out, and they went and they signed whoever they signed. I forgot who it was. So for McTominay, to get rid of McTominay is a problem because I feel like McTominay doesn't actually want to leave. And you can't just make a player leave. If they don't want to, even if you don't want them. Unfortunately, sometimes fortunately, but in this situation, unfortunately. Bebe is here. Bebe, good to see you, buddy. United are also transfer for Ederiso. I think you meant Ederson. And Ugarte, Rafinha to United is better for next seasons. Fridge is saying if we get it, no fridges yet. We don't need any more fridge streams. We don't need any more fridge streams. Rajat saying we will take the Bruvba back as third choice goalkeeper. Tom Heaton can go to fourth goalkeeper. Bebe saying United, I want to Amrabat. I like to United, please. And Axe reminded me that they signed Sanderberg, which we also targeted. Yes, thank you, Axe, for that. I appreciate it. Richard saying the thing is, if we get the right price for Scott, then fine. But he is not on a big wage, and he is a good bench player, and you need a squad. Yeah. Well, see, here's my thing. My thing on this is, now I remember we talked about this a lot before I left, right? Before I went on vacation. And we were saying how we might actually really need to sell a good amount of players, and we were naming people like Harry Maguire, Victor Lindelof, Scott McTominay, Casemiro was mentioned. Maybe Luke Shaw was maybe in the talks there. Obviously we've sold Wan-Bissaka to West Ham. But in reality, we haven't actually sold many players, and the players that we have sold, we haven't gotten a large transfer in fee. I think in total, from all the players that we've sold, I think we have about 60 million in, and 60 million euros, and we've spent around 160 million euros, so total 100 million net spend, which isn't bad. But yeah, I think the squad depth isn't bad, because we've gotten in good players. And if we could get Ugarte in, as much as I wanted to see some of these players get sold, as long as it didn't necessarily stop from us signing the new players, I don't have too much of a problem, because I do understand that this is hard to do. It's hard to get rid of these players. It's hard to move on Maguire, from both aspects. Maybe, there's not too many teams interested. If there are teams interested, there's a problem with the wages. If there's not a problem with the wages, then maybe the player doesn't himself want to leave the club. Maybe he wants to stay. So it's not easy to get these out. And this is obviously INEOS dealing with the Glazers' mess that they created from previously. So it was always going to be difficult anyway. I'm just glad that we were able to get in Euro and Delit and Mazawari and Xerxes, and most likely I'm putting my money on it, Ugarte, before the window ends for sure. What are you guys saying here? Tom Wright is saying, when is the here we go, everything agreed, what's the holdup? The holdup is the fee, Tom. The holdup is the fee. Everything is not actually agreed. Pretty much everything is agreed besides the actual fee between Manchester United and PSG. PSG have been holding out for the 60 million. Manchester United do not want to pay 60 million. They want to pay under 60 million, and that's what the holdup is. But I think that's not necessarily a huge problem. As of right now, as of the information that we have that's been put out, I don't think that is actually a problem. I think it'll get done. From the way INEOS has been moving this summer, I think it will get done for sure. And I expect it to get done. I don't see why not. And he will be definitely a valuable addition. So Rajat saying 60 million euros, not no, do not need that many euros playing just one. Good joke. Axel saying so many people are being disrespectful towards Scott. He is a very dedicated player, and we need his hard work. Can expect everyone to be at the level at Rooney. Yeah, I guess. You know what it is for me, Axe. For me, Axe, it's the way I see it now is it's one thing about levels, right? It's one thing about levels of ability or whatever. But the way I look at the squad now is more of like we all know now that Scott McTominay is basically essentially a cam or a shadow striker. You stick him up there, put him in and around the box, and that's where he excels, right? He's not great at the holding midfielder. He's not great at the box to box, and that's where he excels. But the problem with that is that we have Bruno and we have Mount and we have don't even know. You could put probably two other players in that position as well. Um, so I kind of just see him a little bit of surplus to requirements. Um, and I think in a time where, when we can use the money to try and shift things around, maybe get another position. For example, I would love if we sold Scott McTominay and ended up getting in a left back, because I think we still need a left back, and we were told that we are not going to be getting one this summer. So if something like that was possible, that's what I would be looking to do for sure. Rajat saying United started to build the squad the right way, and I agree. I agree. That's something that we talked about a lot. That's something that we talked about a lot throughout last season. A lot of match recaps. That's something that me and many of you we always stated that our squad was not built correctly, especially over the last 10 years. And I think if you look at the profile of player that we've signed, I think if you look in terms of the quality, the age, their mentalities, their attitudes, I think that Rajat is absolutely spot on. And I think they are starting to build the squad the right way. And I'm actually pretty excited, and I hope they continue down this path, because I think they are. I think they have started on the correct path. And hopefully they don't veer off of it and keep going. Tom's saying they had verbal agreements on a fee. I don't think they did. If they did, I missed it. Or they were rubbish. So yeah, I'm not too sure about that. But these are the latest updates from today, of course. So we're going off of the now and not what was. But yes. Richard saying I've not had a beer since last Friday's night's match, so I'm sitting here with 6-pint bottles of ice cold Stellas. Stellas are delicious. I love Stellas. Stellas are great. Drink one for me, because I don't have any at home. I just got home. I drink plenty of Stellas on vacation though. Dillit is able to maybe be our next captain. Yeah, 100%. I think he's been through a lot already. I'm sorry, I was reading another comment, Rashad. Yeah, he's what, 24, 25 years old. Captain of Ajax at the young age. Played at Juventus, played at Bayern Munich. Starters at all three clubs. I think he's certainly gotten the experience. He's played in high level Champions League matches as well. So definitely, I think that could be a shout for the future, maybe after Bruno. For sure. But Bruno is obviously still going to be here, so probably won't happen for a few years unless Bruno decides to leave, which I don't think he's going to. Richard's saying we won't be selling Lindelof. He's broke his leg. I know that he is injured. And Ten Hag did make some type of a slight update about him, in the presser today, which we're going to cover a little bit. So yeah. Richard saying you cannot do it in one window. It will take 3 or 4 windows, but we will get there. 100%. You cannot do it in one window. Which I wasn't expecting. I don't think any of you were expecting for it to be fixed in one window. I think any logical person wouldn't be expecting it to be, fixed and ready to go in one window. Ralph Rangnick famously said that it would take 2 or 3 transfer windows, not 2 or 3 years transfer windows. And I think in 2 or 3 transfer windows, if you operate correctly, if you operate like a real football club, if you operate in the correct way, I think absolutely you could get it done in maybe 2 to 3 transfer windows, which would be a summer, a January, and another summer. For sure. Now United's problems were a little bit more bigger, and the money situation doesn't necessarily help, but I think so far we are in the right direction 100%. Lyle saying I think we will get Ugarte on 50 million plus 10 million euros. If we can maybe get that a little bit less, it will be good. I think something like that should be good. I don't understand why I don't understand why they're actually holding out for the 60. I don't know why a compromise of something like you're saying with 50 million plus 10 million in add-ons, performance-based add-ons, cannot be agreed. Obviously, this update here, oh, wrong thing. Obviously this update here that by Duncan Castle is saying that they want cash and full transfer sum as full as possible is a bit concerning because we are technically strapped for a little bit of cash. But I kind of feel like that's their negotiation tactic. We have our negotiation tactic. They have their negotiation tactic. We've talked about this many times. In the art of business, I guess you can call it. PSG, they're gonna try to get as much money up front and as high as possible. And United are gonna do the opposite to try and pay the least amount up front as possible and the total fee as low as possible. I think this is normal. Um, I mean, it's pretty just standard. And then usually somewhere in the middle, an agreement can be found. So I'm not worried, and it's been seeming very increasingly like this deal is gonna get done. Pretty much everything is already ready to go. It's just this fee of how much the transfer is going to be paid, and I'm not worried about it not getting done. I don't see anything, that to be worried about. Um, It will be weird to get Ugarte at 60 million because if we agreed to that now, then why didn't we get him before the season? I think the final details is going to surprise us. I mean, listen, we maybe we pay even less. Maybe we pay even less, or maybe it doesn't happen at all. Maybe I'm totally wrong. I mean, I could be wrong, right? I'm not saying I don't have inside sources. I don't know. I'm just like everybody else. I could be totally 110% wrong. The deal could fall apart tomorrow. We could not sign Ugarte. We could end up signing somebody else. We could end up signing nobody and just going into the season like that. I'm just, putting out my opinion of from the news. But yeah, maybe Lyle, maybe we're surprised. Maybe they do get him for less than 60, less than 50. Somehow, some way. You never know. You never actually know. Until it happens, right? So let's see. But I expect this. The feeling I get right now is I expect this deal to get done by next week for sure. Um, Richard's saying I think the window has been good so far. I would give it a 7 out of 10. So far, if we get a Ugarte, I will push that to a 9. Yeah. What would I rate it? Yeah, I think I would say a 7. If we get a Ugarte, I would give it. I'd give it an 8. A 9 for me is a little bit too high, in my opinion, Richard, only because I would have still liked to sign another left back. But maybe, I'm being a little, I'm being a little, maybe I'm being a little harsh. I'm not trying to throw it too high in the sky. I think they've done a really good job, though. I think they've done a really good job in terms of, the fact that we've just put this hierarchy together pretty much. They've come in, they've had a tough task. Anybody that was going to take over this club, it was going to be hard no matter what. And I think from the profile player, like I said before, that they've signed, I think they're all very good, excellent players, with potential ability, mentality, attitude, and all that. So yeah, I think it's been a very good window. Um, I actually didn't even at one point, I didn't think we would sign DeLit. Buddy of mine is a Bayern Munich fan. He's very upset. He's very, very upset at his club and his hierarchy for selling Mateus DeLit and Mazraoui. He is very, very upset. Um, he was telling me for weeks before the deals happened. He said, if you guys get them, they're going to be very, very good for you. They're very good players. I don't want them to leave Bayern Munich. I don't understand why Bayern Munich is willing to sell Mateus DeLit and Mazraoui. Um, And from what I seen in their first game at United, they looked very, very good. Mazawari was very, very good. Dalit didn't play too much, but when he came in, was solid. So, yeah, I think the players we signed very, very well. Um, Now what I'm hoping from INEOS to come, and I know this window hasn't closed yet, but what I'm hoping to see is that when we get to January, what would make me very, very happy from INEOS is if we could get one or two players in January, because we don't do January signings, and if we do, it's usually piss poor. It's usually some underwhelming loan or something like that. The only good one we ever did in the most recent years was Bruno Fernandes, who's obviously been probably our best signing post Ferguson. So, I would like to see that coming from INEOS, because no matter what, we're probably going to need some reinforcements anyway. We still have work to do with the squad. So if we could get one or two other signings in January, that would be great too. Axel was saying he would rate it 8.5, the window. Rajat saying, no, I rate the transfer incomings about a 7.5 to an 8, and outgoing about 6. So about average 7 or 8. Yeah, I think we're all in agreement. It's around there. Rich is saying I would bring Regulon back on loan. I would do that too. I think Regulon wasn't bad. And I think we kind of need to. Unless they plan to integrate Harry Amos into the team, which doesn't seem so likely right now. But if they're gonna integrate Harry Amos into the team, then we don't technically need to loan Regulon because we could just bring in Harry Amos, which I'm okay with. My concern is just about the left back because Luke Shaw is injury prone, and Malacia. I can't. It's hard to say he's injury prone, but he's just had bad luck with the injuries and has been unavailable. And we cannot be in the position we were last season where we literally had 0 left backs. We had our backup right back playing, or our right back playing left back, and then we had no subs for either sides of the field. We had no backup for the right back position, and we had no backup for the left back position. We cannot risk being in that situation again. So if they're not gonna, if they can't sign a permanent left back, then a loan or Almas, but somebody has to be there. We have to have somebody that has to be available for that position. Because as of right now, we are going to play matches currently right now with Mazawari playing right back and Delo playing left back. And then therefore we then have no substitute for the right back. And we technically have like almost no substitute for the left back. I know Martinez has been being pushed out to left back. I don't like my Butcher playing there, even though I know he has played there before in the past. I just like Martinez playing center back. He's a center back. He plays well there. He seems more comfortable there. So we need to figure that out. Will I mod anyone? We have 2 wonderful mods. They are not here right now. But we have two wonderful mods, Rajat. We have 2 wonderful mods. They have not been in here, but I do not blame them because I was on a hiatus, and I'm sure they will join us. If not tonight, then they will join us on another night. But just real quick before we get into the other stuff, I just want to thank everybody that's in here. I was away for a while. It's good to be back. There's a lot of people in here. For the last time I've streamed was about 40 something days ago. So thank you. If you're new, please subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, get involved in the live chat, join our wonderful community. As you can see, we have wonderful people here. And it's just good to be back and chat to all of you. I thoroughly missed this. And yeah, I'm loving it. I'm loving it here. So Rich is saying, I will say this publicly. I love Shaw when he's fit. If Shaw goes on international duty and he plays, I never want to see him back at the club. Well, I'm with you there, Richard. I love Shaw when he's fit too. I think Shaw is absolutely fantastic when he is fit. The problem is his availability. It's not great, which is unfortunate. And yeah, if he's not available and then goes on this international break that's coming up in a couple weeks' times, I believe. Um, I'll be pretty pissed off at him. I mean, we cannot have that going. Axe saying Lindelof is our boy. I love his wife. I mean his play style. Plus he orders the tobacco drugs from Sweden, so keep him. We got characters. We have characters. Harry played well in the U21s on Tuesday, although he was responsible for Crystal Palace's first goal. Yes. So I he does need a little bit more development, but we just need to have somebody that can actually play in that position. So, maybe it won't be all the time. Maybe it needs a little bit more time. But if we're in a dire situation, you can stick him in there. 100%, 100%. Let's get on to these updates. Which I hope I did ruin it. I ruined it, but we'll just do it backwards. How about that? We'll do it backwards. All right. So Erik ten Hag did a presser today, which I assume the other part of it will come out later tonight, as it always does. So this is probably the first part. There will probably be more quotes later on. And Erik ten Hag was speaking on Joshua Zirkzee, talking about very pleasing that a player who is a striker scores his first goal in his first game. That will give him confidence. Very pleased that it's happened. And yeah, I'm very happy that he scored. I was watching the game. I did feel like we were gonna score. I thought we played pretty well. In the match, I saw a lot of people moaning and complaining. There's people that obviously aren't United fans. That were saying same old thing from United. You guys look the same and this and that. And I didn't necessarily see that. I'm gonna tell you the first thing I saw, the first thing I noticed is that we were doing a lot more one touch passing. A lot of it more all over the pitch. Which I think was something that we were kind of struggling with last season. Last season there was a lot of matches I remember where we were getting the ball and we didn't know what the hell to do with it. We also created a lot of good chances in the match. The only reoccurring problem that was in that match, for me personally, was that we could not finish the chances we created. I think we made good chances in the match, but we did not finish. I mean, Bruno could have had two. Garnacho should have had one. Casemiro had about 4 or 5 chances off of corner kicks and free kicks, headers that maybe could have put one on target. He didn't. I think we did pretty good to create chances for our players. Our problem was the clinicalness once again, and I'm hoping that that's just because it's an early doors thing. It's first game of the season, still trying to find our feet a little bit, and I hope that we get that down. I hope with the integration of Ruud van Nistelrooy, um, we can be a lot more clinical with the chances that we get. But yeah, Joshua Zirkzee, I got to see him. What it's like for him in a United kit playing for United at Old Trafford. Um, because obviously you see clips, you see this and that, but clips and this and that are not the same as when you're watching him play on a pitch, second by second, minute by minute. And I was actually very, very impressed. While he is big, tallish, kind of lankyish a little bit. He's very good with the ball, technical wise, moving the ball around with his feet. Very, very good, which kind of surprised. I didn't think he was that good. I did hear that, but I didn't think he was that good. And the finish was absolutely excellent. I mean, for him to get that ball where he dropped back, picked up the ball, spread it out wide, basically starting the play, and then getting into the box and being in a position where the striker should be, and one time into the bottom corner of that goal. It was an absolutely fantastic goal. Fantastic play, and you couldn't write a better script for the kid. First match, coming on as a substitute, and you score a goal in the first game for your new club. And that's what dreams are made of, I guess. Um, What else do we got going on? What are you guys saying in here? By the way, Jack Fletcher in the U21 scored a screamer. Really? Okay, I'm gonna check it out. I hope one of those Fletches or both of them. I hope both of them make it through because that'd just be great. See both Fletches playing in the first team for United. That'd be awesome. Good to see my first manager behind you, Erik, Sir Matt. That's right, there he is. Good. The Xerxes is a unit. That boy is huge. He is, and he moves well, which is with the ball in his feet, which is actually is awesome. Because Hoyland could kind of do the same in terms of that. Hoyland is pretty big and strong, and he's quick for a big and strong guy. He's not slow. So I think we have two very young, excellent strikers that are similar in certain ways, but they also have a uniqueness to each of their game. And I think it's something we have not had in quite some time, and I'm very, very excited, very, very excited for this. Obviously we need Rasmus to come back, and we need Rasmus to stay healthy. And I hope Rasmus stays healthy because I'm getting a little bit concerned. Because Rasmus keeps picking up little injuries here and there. And while he's not out for a long time, we need to get that under control because we need him to be available as much as possible, and we also don't want him to become injury prone. So hopefully that's something that gets nipped in the butt, as they say. Richard said, I liked Mount's energy. Mount was good too, provided a lot of energy. I'm still going to give him some more time because really this is like almost like his first season right now. It's almost like his first season for me because last season was just so much of a disaster. Um he wasn't available. You can't get any ground going really. When you're in and out, you're out for so long. So you know, I think in terms of that, for me, right now is almost like his first season. Hopefully, he stays fit as well. We need the players to stay fit as much as possible. Um, but yeah, Mount pressed well. 20, 30 minutes first half. He did. Everyone was a bit off the pace. But it was the first game, and that's what I'm saying. It's the first game. We got the 3 points. We found a way to win. I think we played well. We created chances. I'm not expecting the team to go out there be firing on all cylinders. I think that's a little bit ridiculous for first game of the season. We got the 3 points, and that's all that really matters. And if you compare the first game stats of this year to last year, there was an improvement for sure. Last year I'm pretty sure it was against Wolves. We conceded about 15 shots against us. That didn't happen this time. Will Wheatley realistically play up front in the first team? No idea. Opinion. Rude will increase the goal finishing, hopefully, and that's what I'm saying. I hope so, Richard. And yeah, I know Erik. But Rasmus is young. He is young. But we have to. They're both young, in my opinion. You know what I mean. All we have is young. Which is not necessarily bad. But we need to know. Rajat saying didn't know your name was Erik. Found out now. LOL. Yes, my name is Erik. So nice to meet you, Rajat. Well, now you know. Yeah, it was. I think we said in an episode you weren't here though. But now you know, so it's all good. Lyle saying if we didn't play in that stadium in preseason, we would have Rasmus and Lenny. Yeah. What was that? What stadium was that, Lyle? Do you remember? Because I only watched like one or two of the preseason games. It was hard for me to watch because they were really, really late. And I just wasn't around to watch them the times and when it was there. So I didn't watch those matches where they got injured. So I actually have no clue. I kind of missed that whole thing. Axe ate his whole smoothie. You eat that, or I thought you drink? Do you drink a smoothie? You eat a smoothie? I thought you drink it. You ate the smoothie with like a spoon. Uh, Here is what we have this season when everyone is fit. We have options, and that is the most important, Richard. We need options. We need options, as many as possible. Rajat saying I drink my pasta sauce. What's going on in the chat? Palestri, and yes, we're gonna get on to that actually. Um, SoFi Stadium. See, Lyle's always coming through with the facts. Love it. SoFi Stadium, artificial turf, but they threw grass over it, and it was basically playing on concrete. NFL Stadium. Yeah, I know SoFi Stadium. I'm a big NFL fan, so I do watch my American football on the Sundays. But yeah, um, yeah, that's a shame. It's a shame. Shame. Maybe we should stop going. Maybe we should stop going to America. No, not not entirely, but yeah, maybe we should, when we do these things. I feel like we should be more demanding. Like, I kind of feel like if I was in charge of Manchester United, and we were going to SoFi, or we were going to do a tour, of the U.S. and they told me that one of the places that we're playing is going to be on artificial turf. Um, and then on top of that, that they're going to throw grass over the artificial turf, I would absolutely refuse to let that happen, due to the fact that that is well known for injuries to potentially happen. I would either cancel it, move it, make them do something. Rajad asking if I'm a Tampa Bay Buccaneers fan. Absolutely not. Get to see the Glazers talk if they win. No. I hate. I don't hate. Well, I hate the Tampa Bay Buccaneers specifically because the Glazers own them. So, the only time I liked them was when Tom Brady went there, because I wanted Tom Brady to win his Super Bowl. But let's get on to the other things from the presser, and that is that Erik ten Hag was speaking on this summer's transfers, and he said that he is very pleased. They're showing that we're going in the right direction. We know as a club we have to catch up, but it shows our ambition that we want, the way we want to go. We have done good business, very good players, quality players who will contribute to our squad. And I think that is pretty much spot on. And kind of what I touched on, and what we were touching on before, is that, I think it's showing that we are going in the right direction. They're trying to be ambitious about it. The quality of the players is good. I think we've done good business. I think we're all in agreement of that. I think that we're all agreed they're very good players and they have quality. So I think everybody is in agreement with Ten Hag there on that. And he also mentioned something on expectations. I'm actually annoyed that they don't put in the question that was asked, because I would like to have the question that was asked, then the response. But his response was, the prizes are decided next May. And until then, we need all the players in the squad and highly motivated. That is not an expectation. That is a demand on the squad. So, strong statement, a little bit there by Ten Hag. Absolutely 110% agree with it. You need all the players in your squad to be available, but they also have to all be motivated. And that can never be an expectation. That has to be a demand from every single player, and every single person inside of that squad. If you're going to be successful, if you're going to be serious, if you're going to be competitive, that has to be one of the number one things. For sure, for sure. Now, Ten Hag also mentioned something. He was asked about Jadon Sancho's availability. And we're gonna get on to some transfer rumors, including Sancho, shortly. But he said, we will see. We have a squad. I hope we will have a squad with double positioning. And when we go into the season, that means you can't select all the players, but you need them all throughout the season. So kind of like it was kind of like a non-answer answer. They asked him about his availability. And he just went more into talking about the squad and the players, and didn't directly address it. He didn't say yes, Jadon Sancho will be available, and he didn't say Jadon Sancho won't be available. So he kind of didn't really answer the question. So I guess it's to be seen. I guess we will see when we go to play our next match if Jadon Sancho is even part of the squad. And there might be a numerous amount of reasons for that. One of them might be that he might be leaving the club, which we will get on to. Ten Hag also speaking on transfers, saying he was asked on if any transfers we're gonna get any incomings or outgoings in the last week of the window. He said just be patient, sit and wait. We're working, of course, very hard. We will always try to make the best squad possible. We have a couple of days. The approach will always be improved. So as long as we have the opportunity, we will look for it. So Ten Hag saying pretty much watch this space. There are things still going on. The window has not ended for Manchester United. And there's a couple days left in the window. And just keep your eye out because things are happening. Things are happening, which possibly be Ugarte coming in, a couple players maybe going out. And this was the thing that he mentioned about Lindelof, Erik Ten Hag on Victor Lindelof, saying no confusion. He has an issue on his toe. Hopefully he can return quickly, but not available for the weekend. So Victor Lindelof, not available for the weekend, has an issue on his toe. I don't know if the toe is broken or something like that. But yeah. I'm okay. I'm okay with him not going anymore, I guess, for right now. Because we would need another center back to come in, which I don't think, we're not going to be able to do that. And at this point, I'll take the squad depth. Because I still worry about injuries and not having enough depth, which is a problem. So I'd rather have the numbers of the players there for the season, and just in case. So, sorry, what are you guys saying here? Thoughts on Makola versus Scholes debate about the lid? I didn't see it. I'm gonna be honest. Axlord, I did not see it. I did hear Scholes say some things about the lid, um, negatively, which I disagreed with. Obviously, Scholes is entitled to his own opinion. Scholes has said stuff about tons of other players that I have also disagreed with. And he could say what he likes, I guess. He's the ex-legend of the club. Um, but I tend to, a lot of the times I tend to disagree with Scholes, even though I loved Paul Scholes and I thought he played his position absolutely fantastic. I think even I remember he did make a comment about Alejandro Garnacho and Kobe Mainu last season, and I highly disagreed with what he said about them. It was just something as stupid as, wearing a hood and how are you not going to see in training properly. I just disagreed with the whole thing. But he's entitled to his opinion just like everybody else. His is just louder than a lot of people's, obviously. But no, I haven't seen it. Maybe I'll check it out later though, so I know what exactly, what the conversation was. Don't think Gundogan ever will be Generation CM, but he could. Well, apparently he's going back to City on a free. So Rajat saying keep Jaden too late. Do we need him now? Do we actually need him now? Do we actually need Jaden? Because we have a lot of options on those wings. Do we even really need him? Like if we sold him, do we actually need him? I feel like the depth is good enough in those positions. Out of all the positions that we have, I think that's probably the area that we have the most depth in. I'm not fussed about it. If he stays, he stays. If he goes, he goes. I wanted him to go. He came back, looked like he was going to stay because apparently he apologized, was doing the training. They seemed to move past it. And then literally a week later, they were talking about him leaving and he has interest from here and there. And he's still here. And I don't know really what is going on. It's his situation is very, very strange. I'm kind of just tired of the whole thing. I just want him to either just be part of the squad or leave. And if you're part of the squad, keep your head down. I just want the controversies around him to end. And if he stays, I just want to put his head down and try to put in good performances and do something for the squad. Otherwise, you know, sell him and be done with it, and we won't talk about it anymore. Cause I'm really tired of it. I can't stand stuff like that. And you know, I'm not personally attacking him. I just hate when there is a player at the club and things just tend to keep happening around this player, and it causes all this controversy around the club, and it puts this extra added lens that Manchester United don't need, because we already have 500,000 lenses on us. We don't need another one over one player when there's a team and a squad that needs to be looked at and looked after. So when things like this happen, I get very annoyed. Because I hate this. I hate this little microscope where it's my everything's about Sancho this, Sancho that, Sancho this. No, there's Manchester United Football Club. There's another 20 something players at this club. And I'd rather worry about the team than solely one player. So sort the thing out, and let's figure it out and let's go. We're not arguing we need him because Palestri's gone. And then saying maybe a youth academy guy can fill up on the wing. Axe pointing out that Sancho can play right wing, left wing, striker. Shadow striker Cam, so if the injuries return, I want him to be serious and consistency really. Well, that's what I'm saying. He is technically versatile. And if injuries do come, you kind of can shift them around. But that's what I'm saying. At this point, I don't really care anymore. If he stays, he stays. He goes, he goes. I just want it to be sorted. If he stays, just as you mentioned, be serious. Put your head down. Please try and put in good performances, and I hope you can add something to the squad at this point. I'm not saying Neville, to be honest, have some bad opinions. I think everybody has bad opinions. Neville has bad opinions. I think Keane's had a couple bad opinions. I think everybody's had bad opinions. I don't think there's one person that doesn't have a bad opinion. That's what an opinion is. Not all your opinions are going to be great. I've had bad opinions. You've had bad opinions. About anything, anywhere, really. The only thing is that their voice is more amplified than most human beings on the planet. And sometimes it seems that they're being a bit facetious when they're doing it because they are on TV. So sometimes it doesn't seem genuine. Sometimes it seems like they're doing it on purpose to get reactions for clips and stuff like that. Which doesn't help, and it gets people riled up and it gets people pissed off. But when you get people riled up and pissed off, that's where the interaction comes from, unfortunately. So it's either that or they just talk crap because they don't they don't pay attention as much as we do. Even though they are ex legends of the clubs or ex players of the game, that does not mean that they live and breathe it like us. They might have played it, but they don't play it anymore. And also, they're millionaires. I don't know how much of their life they're actually dedicating to watching all these matches, analyzing stuff, and all that. A lot of us, we have probably a little bit more time in our hand, or we just enjoy it more. So just being an ex-player, an ex-legend doesn't make you the be-all and end-all. There's plenty of people that have not played the game professionally that know a lot more than a lot of the pundits on TV. Laz saying nobody wants Jaden. Wages in his history are stumbling blocks. I just hope we get something out of him first half of the season and ship him off in January. Axel is saying he was also the youngest player ever for the Ajax, and the Bayern fan base did not want him to leave. I assume he's talking about De Ligt there. I think De Ligt's gonna be good. For sure, absolutely. So I might ruin this. Excuse me for okay, this one is good. Excuse me for the cough. I'm a little bit on the weather. I don't know why. In my travels, I must have gotten sick. It could have been the air conditioning from the plane or something. I was on there for about 9 hours. So yeah. So on to the Jadon Sancho interest. Here you go. So this came out not too long ago. where Juventus have apparently made a move for Jadon Sancho and negotiations are ongoing. This is coming from our MC Sport. To follow up from that, Sky Sports said that Juventus have firm interest in signing Jadon Sancho and are exploring the conditions of a deal. Talks over personal terms have also taken place. Manchester United would consider suitable offers. So apparently, Juventus are very well interested in signing Jadon Sancho. And let's see where this leads. I am going to check soon to see if we got any updates while we went live. So maybe there will be a following update to this. But yeah, a little bit surprised. I know that they were interested earlier on in the transfer window. Nothing really came for it because apparently they needed to raise funds to get this deal. As far as I'm aware, they haven't really sold anybody. So they haven't raised any funds as far as I'm aware of. But I'm not a Juventus fan, and I'm not, I haven't been paying attention to anything they've been doing, so I could be wrong. Maybe they raised a little bit of funds, but I'm not aware of any funds that they actually raised. And now they've come back to put their interest back in for Sancho. And I wonder what the offer is going to be. I think if they try to ask for a loan, we might reject it unless they offer to pay, at the end of the year or the end of the season. Certainly interesting. I wouldn't be against us selling him. I don't think it's a problem. I really don't. And maybe it would be a tough ask, but if we were to get, if we were to sell Sancho, or a McTominay, or maybe we could sell both. Maybe we could squeeze in another signing before the window closes, separate from Ugarte. And that would be very, very cool. And very, very good. So, Rajat saying Delit, Yoro, Licha, Martinez, Delo, Maz, all great options to have as defense. Could have been the drink, Erik. Could have been. It's so no need to follow. Jaden do have a cool haircut. It's like my haircut. Richard, you got that haircut? I want to see that picture. I want to see that picture. I want to see that haircut, Richard. It's like my haircut. Only my the top. I don't got that. I wish I had the cool curly hair. My hair doesn't do that, unfortunately. My hair is just flat and straight and boring. I wish I had curls. It looked very cool. Richard saying also, Erik, you don't know this, but I have contacted Erik Ten Hag and made him aware I am available on a free but must be paid in Stella. Oh my god. Well, we could break that. All right, here we land. Richard Hawkins, free transfer to Manchester United. He's getting paid in Stellas. He is getting about 150 Stellas a week. If we win the Premier League or the FA Cup or the well, we're not in the chat, in the Europa League, he gets a lifetime supply of Stellas. You've heard it here, folks. You heard it here first, folks. Breaking news: Richard Hawkins to Manchester United on a free, being paid in Stella. Here we land. It's all good. Where were we? Oh, segueing. Scott McTominay. What's up, Scotty? Oh, I'm mad I can't point. I was gonna put my finger in his face. I can't do it. Napoli apparently, according to Sky Sports, remain interested in doing a deal for Scott McTominay. I want the deal to happen. I want it to happen. I would sell him. He's one of the people I would sell, 100%. I think we could just use the money and we can get a player in a different position or a player of higher quality. But yeah. I don't think it'll happen. I feel like he doesn't want to leave the club, and therefore, since he doesn't want to leave the club, I don't think a deal will happen. Even if Napoli pose a good fee, I don't think he'll be leaving. So I don't see it happening. Maybe next season. I think because of his involvement last season, the impact he's had, I think he's very reluctant to leave. Um I feel like he's gonna stick it out. And if this season goes poorly for him, where he doesn't end up getting involved as much because maybe we have other players aren't as injured, so we have more availability and they make more of an impact over him, where he's not gonna, you know, be involved as much as he was last season, then maybe he'll go in the following summer, or maybe he might go in January. If it's going that bad for him, by the time he gets to January, he says maybe, you know what, I do want to leave now. So uh 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 uh. uh, this club is the love of his life. Yeah, I get. I'm not. I when I say things like that, I don't take it away from him. I know he loves the club. I know he bleeds for this club. I do. I do. And I don't. I've always respected him for at least, you know, going on that pitch. And trying to, like, he understands what that badge means. Um, I just when I say these things, I speak primarily from a football business point of view. Um, because have I try not to have attachments to players. If I do, they're very, very few. Um, very, very few. Very, very few. And I try not to, because I used to when I was younger. And obviously, you find out the hard way. That life is life. You know, and you get your heart broken a little bit by one of your favorite players or this and that. Um, so I get it, but um, the way I see it, I would personally move him on. I know Axe doesn't. Axe wants him to stay, and that's all right. Lyle saying 100% profit is all I see. Wouldn't want him to go, but financially it makes sense. Richard saying he is not on big money like Johnny Evans. He's a very limited player, but has been a loyal servant and he works hard. If he doesn't leave, I don't care. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I would do it. I'm not gonna throw a tantrum if he doesn't go. And again, I think in the way Richard put it, he's limited, which is one of my reasons that I would move him on. But then again, he's loyal. He does work hard. And he can give you something like he gave us last season. So, you know, it's both sides of the scale. It's not like one's here and one's here. It's not all one sided. It's an up and down type of thing. So Rajat saying, no, if going to force him out, I personally don't hate him. Technically okay, but can't doubt his passion. If he stays or if he leaves, care both ways. Gotta say thank you and more. Yeah, I think we're all about close on the same page about it. So, um, and then this was just a follow up, from earlier about what we talked about, but men mentioning that a loan move for Ugarte, if it is actually a loan move and then paying the fee. They were saying that a loan move for Ugarte wouldn't necessitate the sale of Scott McTominay, which means that we're not selling Scott McTominay to get Ugarte. Ugarte is technically coming in regardless of who is sold from that midfield. At the same time, Manchester United remain open to offers for Casemiro and Christian Eriksen, which I actually almost forgot that Christian Eriksen was still at the club. Um, and I think he could probably go. He's probably definitely uh, surplus to requirements. I mean, and that was somebody that I forgot to mention as well. Because I mean, you got Bruno, you got Mount, you have Christian Eriksen, and you have Scott McTominay. And if we keep Jadon Sancho, he could play there as well. So you got about 5 players that could play in that one same position. It's too many, and this is what I'm saying. We got to get rid of at least 2 or something like that. Um, Obviously Casemiro. For me at this point, we haven't sold Casemiro. I would keep Casemiro because I'd like to have Casemiro and Ugarte and then switch them out. Um, just have Casemiro for the experience and the backup. If he can start and Ugarte is much better and provides better. Um, but yeah, definitely in that like attacking mid position. I know Ericsson was kind of playing like the box to box. Um, but I still see him as a cam in my head. Yeah, he's old, but he probably still excels hanging, in front of the box creating plays. I think he's better at that than box to box. Um, so interesting stuff. And then we'll get on to the little sales and the player that we signed actually. So Will Fish, Manchester United defender Will Fish, which I am a little bit sad about because I thought maybe he might be able to come to the first team, but he's not. Manchester United defender Will Fish is in Cardiff to undergo a medical ahead of a permanent move. Fee agreed for about 2 million. Manchester United have included a significant sell-on clause in this deal. Reoccurring theme that I noticed, and yes, while I was on vacation and I wasn't paying attention too much, I did see that in all of the deals that we've made, there have been sell-on clauses in pretty much every single deal that we have made. It's either a sell-on clause, a buyback clause, both. Um, so reoccurring thing, I think that's a very excellent clause to put in. It's smart. It gets you extra money. It adds up over time. Um, if you keep doing it to all these players that you keep selling, that money will add up over time, which is important because it's almost like saving money for a rainy day type kind of thing. Um, and in the long run, it will pay off. It will help financially. So I like how they're putting these sell-on clauses in there. I think it's very good, very smart. Unfortunately, we're saying it's very good, it's very smart. This might be standard at other clubs. We've just been run so piss poor badly that we haven't seen something like that in 10 years or over 10 years. I don't even know if that was a thing 10 years ago. It might have been. Um, but yeah. And then to follow that one up, another youngster from the club, Maxi Oyedeli, um, has gone to Legia Warsaw. They are Polish on a permanent transfer. It will include a sell-on clause, again, as I just said, as a 2004 born midfielder is already in Poland. That was from Fabrizio Romano, just confirming that. So sell-on clauses, very, very good piece of business. It's smart. And think about how many of these players we're selling, and they're young. So if they do end up becoming any type of good anyway, and they go for a higher fee than what we've sold them for, we're gonna still get a nice little chunk of money from it as well. So good smart things that they're doing here. Little things, but good and smart. And we'll take those. We'll take those small W's or W's at the end of the day. So little W's, big W's, they're all W's to me. And then to round it off, cap it up, we have gone and signed, agreed the deal to sign 2006 born Mali international talent Sekou Kone from Widars FC. Here we land. Kone was on the list of several clubs, but United have agreed deal today. Considered a top talent. He's part of long-term plans, similar to Cheeto Obi Martin. So, I'm gonna be honest. I had to look this kid up because I had absolutely no clue who the hell he was or what he's done or what position he played. So he is 18 years old, was born on February 3rd. He is about 5 feet 10 inches tall, according to this article that I was reading. So far, throughout his fledgling career, Kone has predominantly trained and played as a defensive midfielder, but he can also operate from a slightly more advanced role from the engine room, although appearances as an out-and-out central midfielder have been scarce. So, it's looking like CDM option settings. Kone, da 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 da. So his stats for the club that he was at, for whatever reason, weren't recorded or not says are largely unconfirmed and incomplete for who knows what reason. At the midfield, there has a respectable record for the Mali under 17 team. The only international side he's played in, and he's played under 17s. He has 12 caps, 0 goals, 2 assists, and 0 cards. So defensive mid might be looking at, coming up soon. 18 years old. Big things. And boy, I was talking about this before. Okay, because I missed all of this because I was on vacation. So Greenwood to Marseille, 26 million euros. I hope these fees are correct. Wan-Bissaka, West Ham, 17.6 million euros. Gumbala to Villarreal, 10 million euros. Alvaro Fernandez to Benfica, 6 million euros. Palestri to Panathinaikos, 6 million euros. Van de Beek, we gave him to Girona for 500,000. Omari Forson was a free transfer. Varane was a free transfer. Martial was he's just a free agent, still without a club, and Brandon Williams still without a club. So we transfer some. We bring in 66.10 million in euros. And then we signed Euro. So we pretty much got Euro for free from all getting rid of all those players. And then we're not including the wages from Varane and Martial. Those are probably huge, combined. So. And Euro was 62 million euros. Mateus de Ligt, 45 million. Xerxes, 42.5 million. And Mazzawari, 15 million. I think that piece of business right there, for me, was excellent. Was getting Mazzawari for 15 million euros and selling Wan-Bissaka for 18 million euros. In my opinion, we probably got a better right back and then made a profit of 3 million. And getting a better right back. So I think so far, looking pretty good. Wheatley to the under 18s, Amos under 18s, and Collier to the U21. Well and good. And then there was also, and Hag said something about we will see. I think he was when he was asked about the availability of Sancho, which we talked about. He said we have a squad, and I hope we will have a squad with double positioning. Like I said, when we go into the season, after the transfer window closes, and then he went on to say that means also you can't select all the players for the game, but you need them all throughout the season, because this season will be the survival of the fittest. We have to manage it, but also the attitude of the players is very important. Sometimes they will be disappointed, but they have to deal with it because you don't win with 11 players. You win as a squad, which is something I've been saying for at least a year and a half now, if not longer. We need all the players in the squad, which we covered that part already. Yeah, so pretty much he said if you're not picked to deal with it, which I agree with. Deal with it, get over it, go into training, work harder, make him pick you. Or when you do get picked, take your opportunity. So I'm just checking to see if we had any more updates. What are you guys saying in here? Axel saying, I don't know. I mean, I saw them in FM24, but this is real life. I'm a romantic who can't escape reality. That's all right, Ax. We all are. We all are. Yeah, Christian is a good player, but not in the new system. He cannot press, and where he needs to play, those positions are filled. Yeah, I really think that we need to work on squad depth. Rested Eriksen and Casemiro are still top tier. Eriksen can be brilliant for 40 minutes if well fitted. Just don't keep him as first option. Well, he's definitely not first option for sure. Saying I wish the fish will do swimmingly. Love that. Lyle saying Salon could prove to be lucrative. We got some high percentages. Yes. That's what I'm saying. So I think that's very smart from INEOS. Very, very, very smart from INEOS. And I hope that comes to pay us back fruitfully in the future. Everyone has forgotten about Obi Martin, who we stole from Arsenal. Absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. I have quite a few Arsenal fans, friends, And when we did it, I was just so happy to just send them and be like, "We stole your play," or "We stole your play," or like I'm 5 years old. It was good. It was good. It was good because they get mad anyway. They get mad anyway. They get mad. They get upset. So it was good. It was good banter. It was good banter. We got some good youngsters this window. Mexis is also on that list. Yes, we did. And they keep putting the emphasis on the young players, which I think we all love to see. Especially because it's ingrained and it's part of our club. So I think they are putting a real big emphasis on this. And I'm excited by that because it's it's part of the history of our club. It's what Manchester United is. Um, so I'm glad that they're continuing that, but not even continuing it. It seems like they're improving it. They're improving it. It's not like they're just continuing it. It seems like they are improving the emphasis of these younger talented players. Which also I hope will really benefit us come in the near future. Obi Martin is is as much as a generational talent as Kobe. Guys, you have to realize the background people are not the Murta Woodward mentality. These people know what they are doing. Well, that's what I'm saying. Not only are they continuing, this youth development, but the improvement in the quality of these type of kids that they're not only going after but also getting is exciting me. So INEOS getting small W's here and there. Um, they redid the tunnel, small little thing, but I mean the improvement of the tunnel at Old Trafford. I mean, I didn't realize because I was just so used to it. I didn't realize how actually outdated it really looked. Because when you compared the side by side images, to me the inside of there was it's just Old Trafford. It's a classic look. Like I've known it to look like that for pretty much my whole life. So I was used to it. But once they redid the inside of it, and then I looked at the side by side photos, I was like, oh shit. I was like, we really are behind. I was like, I was like, it looks modern. It's sleek. It looks new. It looks nice. It looks more united. I was like, before you could see the pipes and all that, and I like that antiquish look, but at the end of the day, we are Manchester United. And we need to really update our things with the times. But I like what they did. I like what they did with the little tunnel update they did. So they just redecorated the entrance. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But the least they could do was redecorate the entrance. You know what I mean? Was it so hard? No, they did it. It looks better. It just looks better. It looks better. It gives a little bit of a feel. You know what I mean? It gives a little bit of a better feel. When I seen it, obviously we have bigger problems than that, and that needs to be addressed. But and hopefully they will. Hopefully they will. Obviously, gotta have the money for that. And I think they're still trying to figure out what exactly they're gonna do, if they're gonna build a brand new stadium or not. Um, but still, um, listen, in life, not everything can be a giant W. You take you take the little W's. You take the little W's. Because W's are W's, and to me, that's a W. Was that so hard? No. But did the Glazers do it in 10 years? In the past 10 years? No. Ineos did it in a couple months just to redecorate it, make it look a little bit nicer, a little bit more professional. Um, you know, so I like what they did with it. It's not anything huge. It's not groundbreaking, but I like it. I like it. Um, Axe asking me thoughts on Kumbala. Is he just on loan with extra steps? What did we do with Kumbala? No, we sold him, didn't we? We sold him. We sold him for 10 million. Or as I see here, pretty sure we. Richard Hawkins saying Christopher Vell, massive upgrade. Dude has a special eye for talent. Yeah, that's another thing. That guy. Didn't know too much about him. Had to read up a little bit on him. Lyle, there you go. Marginal gains, small wins are still wins. Clearly, how we are on the right track. Shows how we are on the right track. Axel is saying sold, but we have to buy. We have a buyback clause and 50% future transfer. So, all right, very good. Yeah, so I mean, you gotta look at it maybe as like a loan, a loan with extra steps, maybe. If he does do well or he develops very well, and he's very wanted, you know what I mean? We could probably come back in, um, and get him back. So it could be, it depends how it goes. It depends how it goes. If he develops well and he becomes very, very, very good player, somebody that's, you know, has a lot of interest in, then it could be perceived maybe as some long-term loan, or like you put it, loan with all of these little extra steps. If not, we have a 50% of the future transfer. Now I would assume that clause would get voided if we buy him back, right? Because that would be hilarious. Also, I feel like that would be highly illegal, and I feel like you cannot do that. Because if we buy him back, but we get 50% of the future transfer, did we just get him 50% off then, as well? So would it be 50% of the buyback clause? Because that would be hilarious. But I'm sure that there's somewhere in that contract that if we buy back, then we don't get the 50%. Because that would be absolutely hilarious. That would probably, you know what? That would probably be something that under the Glazers and Richard Arnold and Ed Woodward and Murtaugh, that probably would be something that they would do. That would probably be something they would do. They would probably sell a player. No, they would probably buy a player, right? And put in a buyback clause. Allow the other team to put in a buyback clause and 50% of the future transfer. They'd come to United, play, do good, and then they would be stupid enough to not separate the two clauses, and the club would come back and buy back the player they sold to us, and then also get 50% of the transfer, of their own transfer, of buying back the player. And this is a joke because it's probably illegal from like FIFA or whatever organization. So you probably can't do it at all. But that's how stupid they were. That's how stupid they were. They would probably, I wouldn't be surprised if they ever did something like that, where they would be, that's how bad the Glazers and at Woodward, all those guys were. They would do something like that in a made up scenario that we just made up. But yeah, that would be hilarious. I'm going to tell you about my first European Cup. I was 8-year-old, and I had traveled with my father from Belfast to Wembley. At a 22-year-old from Belfast, tormented Benfica, George Best. That's United. Love it. Love it, Richard. Love it, Richard. My friend is a Benfica fan, by the way. One of my good friends. Buyback will most likely give United first refusal, and most likely fee is already set from the offset. Yeah, probably. Remember Pogba? Well, yeah, that Pogba, that was slightly different, but stupid. Stupid. There was a lot of remembers. There was a lot of remembers that I don't want to remember, Axler. There was a lot of remembers. Okay, let me check to see if we got any updates while we went live. And then, time is it? Yeah, hour and a half. All right, not bad. We could freestyle a little bit, and then we'll probably end it. But it is a good first stream back. All right, let's check it out. What we got? Any news? Any extra news? You know what's gonna happen? As soon as we end this stream, there's gonna be like 5 other updates that come out, because every time I end the stream, there's always some type of an update. Okay, so Tiny update on the player we were talking about on Saku Kone. The fee is 1.2 million pounds fixed, plus bonuses depending on professional appearances. Kone will complete his medical and sign his contract at the start of next week. So there's a little update there. And Fabrizio Romano has put an update about Jadon Sancho. I'm going to read it. Give me 1 second, please. All right, so Fabrizio Romano has given us an update on Jadon Sancho about 30 minutes ago, saying that Manchester United consider Jadon Sancho's situation still open ahead of the final week of the summer transfer window. Juventus have made new contact with Sancho's camp as he is still one of the main names on the list. PSG never sent formal bids. Race still open to other clubs. So, Jadon Sancho transfer saga still on, back on. Will he go? By the end, before the window closes, we will see. I I wanted him to go in the first place, so if he goes, he goes. But we need to get this sorted. I'm kind of tired of this whole saga. Let's see. Anything else? Anything else? Not that I see. Let me go into I don't see. Yeah, Chelsea have beaten some team that I've never heard of that I can't even pronounce 2-0, and it took them till the second half to do so. Okay. Yeah, I don't see anything else really. So there's that little update from Fabrizio, which is good. Let's switch back to our regular thing here. Axel was saying it was stupid. That is what I meant. Oh yeah, it was stupid, 100%. But that's what I'm saying. I don't want to remember it. I don't want to remember it. It was so bad. Richard asking everybody to please hit the likes and subscribe, please, and thank you if you guys could. I greatly appreciate it. It's been really, really good to get back. Lots of people in the chat, lots of people coming in and out. Grateful. Because I did take quite a bit of a hiatus. So for people to come in here, people to get involved, it was, really, really great. I missed this a lot. And I'm glad to be back, and we're gonna hit the ground running. So listen, I do have planned for this upcoming season. I'm gonna try and do some more watch-alongs. I don't know if you guys are interested in such things, because everybody watches the matches their own way. I do watch most of the matches with my father, which I would then be unavailable to do watch-alongs. Because I go to his house to watch the game. It's kind of a thing that we do, and I thoroughly enjoy it. But I will try to do more because I did one last year to test it out. I liked it. So the more opportunities I'll get, I'll be able to do that. And what I also want to do, if people are interested, because I did have a couple people ask me, is open up some type of like a Discord chat when we do a live show. Maybe it'll be a specific live show. Maybe it won't be like every live show where people can, I guess, call in, or and we could have a word to word, mouth to mouth conversation through Discord or something else like that, where you can actually voice your opinion and be on the show with me instead of just the chat. So I 100%. And there's a couple other things that I'm going to be looking to do into. We have a very big push for this channel. to get it so that we can have super chats and all that good stuff. So big push coming from now until I think the new year is the time limit that we have. So, we're gonna be hitting the ground running. We're gonna be doing big things. And I appreciate you guys' support, all of you. And I hope we get there. I hope we make the mark. I think we can. I think we can do it. I had some time to sit there and think about it, and I feel like we can. I feel like we can get there. I feel like we're going to do it. So, and if anybody has any other suggestions for the channel, please always tell me. If you put them in the lives, if you put them, after the live is over, somewhere, anywhere, you know, put whatever you got. I always take everything into consideration. And I will always take the time to read, think about it. So, we could do that as well. Riola was a snake. Yeah. He's dead. Let's not talk about the dead people. No. He was though. And at the end of the day, you could say he was doing his job. Agents are snaky people. They're snaky people. It's kind of in their job. It's like politicians, They're snaky people. They gotta do what they gotta do. You know what I mean? Um, glad you're back. I'm glad to be back, Richard. I'm glad you guys are back as well. I'm glad you guys didn't leave me, because I kind of left you temporarily. And now that we're at the end of the show, I can more properly address that. So basically, what was going on was I was out and about, like all day for hours and hours of the day. So I couldn't really keep up with the news and what was going on and stuff. And I just personally felt like if I wasn't able to be fully invested into the United news and what's going on with the club, I kind of felt like it would be fraudulent of me to come on here and to try and do a talk show about the United news and then talk about things that I don't really know what the hell I'm speaking about because I wasn't up to date on the information. Which is why I kind of just stopped attempting to do the videos while I was out there. Plus, obviously, we have the infamous fridge stream, which if you were there, that will forever be a thing that lives with you guys, with my first supporters, of course. They could call me call me Gold Fridge from now on. No, don't do that though. Um, but yeah, that was great. But it was just a struggle, and for me personally, I couldn't get the stream to be presented the way I wanted the stream to be presented. Um, it didn't look aesthetically nice. I couldn't get these things up for you. The tweets. It was just a real pain in the ass. So I made the ultimate decision to just not do the streams from the last one we did till now until I got back to my regular setup. And that was pretty much it. And I apologize that I left you guys in the dark for a little bit about it. But yeah, and so we're here, Royal Rumble. No one has a United channel on Rumble. Really? That's something that okay. So thank you, Richard. So I need to look into that because I would then need to know how can I simultaneously stream to YouTube and Rumble at the same time. Um, because I'm well aware of Rumble. It's interesting that nobody has that. I'm gonna check into that now because we could get in there for sure. What is Rumble? Rumble is like a YouTube that was made. I mean, if you look it up, Axe, they're gonna tell you it was made by conservative people. Whatever. We're not gonna get political about it. Rumble was pretty much created at the time where a lot of people from one side of a political party was getting banned from Twitter and stuff for saying things, and the things weren't necessarily the most horrible things, but the people that were running Twitter at the time decided that it was. And they were pretty much getting banned from all types of social media and getting their careers destroyed Um, so they then therefore created Rumble, um, where allowed these people to go without facing a ban and continuing their careers as podcasters or entertainers or whatever. And it really kind of took off, and it's a thing. It's not as big as YouTube, obviously, because YouTube's been around for a very, very long time, and it's obviously the most popular. But Rumble is a good alternative, and it's good to have, um, your foot in many different places. So yeah, it's that's a good shout, Richard. Good shout, good shout. I'm definitely gonna look into that. Thank you for that. Um, and they only take 10% of earnings. Oh, okay. All right. Yes, Eric, but now there is 12 Democratic stations on Rumble. That's what I'm saying. So, well, because they want to get in there as well. That's what I'm saying. Listen, it could be far right, I guess. There's other things. There's also Kick. Just like how there's Twitch. It depends how you look at it. Maybe the audience might be skewed one way or the other, but at the end of the day, I'm here for, I guess, more of a freedom of speech type of thing. I don't think people should necessarily be getting banned and stuff for things. I've seen people with very big channels, and that's one of the problems. Like it, obviously there's certain things that are just way over the line that you can't say, but there are people that I've seen that have big channels that, they lose their account, it gets suspended, they get their video taken down, they get demonetized, for saying something that I don't necessarily think is bad. I mean, the world is, it's not all rainbows and unicorns. The world is sometimes a very serious, and adultish place. You know what I mean? Somebody says a curse word and they get demonetized for that specific video. It's a little crazy to me. Um, so we'll it's good to have options. It's good to have options. Good also, Kick also good, but we all we want is to talk about United. Exactly, that's what it is. Um, but you never know because they're always changing policies. They're always changing policies all over the place. So it's actually more important to be and have this place up everywhere, in as many places as possible, because you just never know. You just never know. I mean, YouTube could change its policy tomorrow, and they can literally be like, if you put up a picture of a player like this, your video gets taken down or something. I don't know. It's not really a thing, but it's just important to have on many different platforms so you have many different options. So that way, um, the channel stays alive. Also, we can grow in many different ways as well. At the end of the day, this is a football channel. Um, so we're gonna be talking football. Anybody that comes to try and talk politics, we're not going to talk about politics. We're not going to talk about anything else really. It's always going to stay a football channel. So don't worry about the Axe. Don't worry about the far right viewers. Don't worry about it, because if they come in and they start talking nonsense politics, we're not talking about that. We're not talking about that. Um, Richard saying, so I follow America's Untold Stories. They got demonetized on YouTube for showing a black and white photo of the same Valentine's Day massacre. Well, this is what I'm saying. So there's certain things like that. Like some of them are silly, some of them I understand. Um, but it's the little silly things that worry me. Which is why I think it's important, like Richard's saying, there are other places out there and we can get into those spaces as well, not just YouTube. Um, but I need to find out. I need to figure out how to link all of that together. Because if I could stream to YouTube and Rumble at the same time, that would be fantastic. And I'm pretty sure there's a way to do it. I just don't know how. So I'm gonna have to look into that. Um, but this has been absolutely lovely stream. Um, Anybody have any questions for me about anything on United that maybe you want my opinion about that we haven't talked about? Um, you guys are the best. Literally, literally the best. This has made me happy. I'm looking at the numbers of the stream right now. It's made me extremely happy. I don't know how many likes we have. We got 11. We could get more. Um, we'll probably get more a little bit later. But thoughts on our next match? Okay, Axe. There you go. Beautiful. Thoughts on our next match. So Let me get this up right now, because we are playing Brighton. If I'm not mistaken, yes. I'm trying to catch up here. I'm playing. I just came back to reality. A little bit. So, are we playing Saturday? Yes, we are. Oh, and it's an early one for me. I should have stayed in Malta. Could have had the good time. Could have It would have been at 1:30 in the afternoon if I stayed in Malta. I gotta wake up at 7:30 or 7 in the morning to watch this one. So we're playing Brighton away from home. Um, Brighton with the 3-0 goal difference as well. They did play Everton. I don't know, man. Listen, it's not gonna be an easy game. I'm backing us to win, of course. Richard saying 3-1 to United. Uh, I'll go 2-1. I'll go 2-1. I think we'll concede a goal, maybe. Um, I guess it really depends how we start the team. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for Delit and Lizandro to start at center back. I want to see that partnership play out. I think that's really going to help us play even better out of the back. Um, Not that Maguire hasn't been playing good, right? Not that Maguire hasn't been playing good. It's just that it's just the difference. It's just a difference in a little bit of a mentality, even the speed itself. Not that Delit is the fastest guy, but I think he's faster than Maguire. Um, and Delit's used to the system. Martinez is made for the system, and both of them together, are literally the system. So, I want to see that. I want to see Xerxes, I guess, starting up top because I think we need the striker. I'm not against the false nine. I think the false nine plays well in certain matches. It might play well against Brighton because, as Lyle is saying, Brighton on a high after Everton. Um, they also do play pretty pressing, high pressing, high intensity. It's a tough game on paper. We've been solid at the back, like Lyle is saying. And we just need to finish our chances. It's the only missing piece, and I would be in agreement with that as well, and that's why I think I want to see Xerxes in there because I want to see the striker in there. I want to see the striker in there. I think having the striker there is gonna help. Having the striker, because there was a couple chances in that Fulham match where I was like, if we had a striker with the striker's nose and the striker's mind, there was a couple balls that went into that box, and I was like, the striker would have been there. The striker would have been there, and that could have been a goal, or that could have been a good chance for a goal. But we didn't have the striker on the pitch at those moments. So yeah, I want to see how we do this. Trying to check. Better head-to-head record. I mean, we did beat Brighton 2-0. Well, that was at the end of the season, right? Beginning of the season, last season, still. Didn't even play them. Why did we play them so late? We played them late. Oh, here. Oh, we played them. All right, we lost to Brighton in September 16, 23. We lost to Brighton. We were home. We lost 1-3 at home. And then when we played them in May, uh we beat them 2-0 at home. So, I don't know. It's going to be a bit tough, but I think we could do it. I think we played well. Obviously, they played well. Um but I don't rate Everton too much. Everton have a lot of problems. Um I think Everton's probably most likely to get relegated this season, in my opinion. Um, they barely got away with it past like season or two. Uh, so I think I don't think Everton's that great of a team anyway. I think Fulham will probably finish above. Fulham will definitely finish above Everton. And we'll do better than Everton throughout the course of the season. So, and Axe was saying Maguire has been brilliant in our first match. I mean, he continued where he pretty much left off from last season. Last season, I think we're all in agreement that he had a pretty good season, like a good season. Um, and he's pretty much continued that. Just going into this season, he did have that one block, um, where they countered us, and he was literally the last man standing. Like he was all alone on an island, and I shit myself. Uh, because I was like I could have swore it was a goal, and I was like, there is absolutely no way. Um, Pretty much when I saw it, I just said we're fucked. That's what I said when I was watching the match. They got that ball, and honestly, credit to Maguire for getting the ball. But that was piss poor from Fulham as well. I'm not gonna sugarcoat this. Uh, for Maguire's sake, Maguire did good. He stayed there and he got the ball, and made an important interception. But at the same time, that was complete shit from the Fulham player. And thank God it was a Fulham player and it wasn't a player that has like a high quality. Because if we were playing against a team that has a lot of high quality players in a lot of areas, such as Arsenal, Liverpool, Manchester City, even like a Villa, um, even maybe a West Ham, I feel like they would have completed that pass. Um, because there was just so much space. But he was there and he got it. So at least he got it. At least he got it. Um Anything else? Anything else? Um you know what I was surprised about that we didn't get to talk about? That like Van de Gag is gone. Um and that Benny, well, I kind of had a feeling always Benny was going to go because it was talked about. But Van de Gag leaving actually surprised me. I was not expecting Van de Gag to leave as assistant manager. Um and if can somebody please help me, is Steve McLaren still at the club or is he gone? Did Steve McLaren leave? Because I have no clue actually. I'll be honest, when I don't know something, I literally have no clue. Um that was a big compromise by Erik ten Hag. Was that Steve has gone. Steve McLaren is gone. Oh, manager. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. See what happens when you go on vacation. Everything is like all jammed together. So, um, yes. Now I remember he did leave. He went to manager Jamaica. I remember reading that. So we got in Rude. Who else did we get in? Oh, the other, the is he Dutch? That he was at the smaller club, right? Well, I love that Rude came because I think Rude was doing great as a manager. Um, but I was surprised that Van de Gag, Hackey, yeah. So him, I don't know too much about. Obviously, Rude is Rude. Um, but I didn't think that. I, I kind of just thought that Van de Gag was, just Ten Hag's right hand man. Like there was no way he was gonna go. And obviously he has gone. And that was kind of crazy to me. I was not expecting that at all. I kind of figured, Van de Gag would stay, Benny would go, we'd get somebody else to replace him, Benny. Um, I wasn't 100%. I kind of could see, maybe McLaren going because it's McLaren. The new set piece and goalkeeper coach as well. Yes, those I know we got. I pay a little bit less attention to them, but hopefully, they do pay off because the set pieces we've been struggling for some time. So, hopefully figures that shit out. Defensively and offensively. So far, I I think the new set piece coach likes Casemiro, because I swear to God, the Fulham match, there's like 4 or 5 set pieces. The ball goes to Casemiro. He ain't even that tall of a guy. It's not like Maguire. The ball goes to Casemiro. It finds him. Somehow it finds him. It's always Casemiro. 4 or 5 chances he had off of set pieces. So I don't know if that's just the thing, that they're practicing, or it was just a lucky coincidence or whatever. Wilcox still with the youth. I believe he is. He's probably overseeing it, to a certain degree. Also, loan manager coming in to make sure our loan deals are paying off. Really? Okay, interesting. That's like a football manager detail right there. You gotta get the loan manager. Hire the loan manager to your department. Shit. Axe is saying, I'm telling you, a lot of season conflicts involved. Oh, we got a new subscriber. Maste Do. Thank you for subscribing. Love you, buddy. Welcome to the community. I love that. The sound played and everything. Hope they don't ban me for that sound. I don't even know if I'm allowed to play that, but I don't care. We do what we want on this channel. What was I saying? Oh, Axe was saying, I'm telling you, a lot of X season conflicts involved Van de Gag. Erik ten Hag must have kept his back, but the squad might have had a beef with Van de Gag. And Richard said, here is the thing, Eric Mauricio Pochettino is the new USA manager. I seen that. I find it interesting. I'm not 100% against it. He's probably doing it. He's probably doing it because he can leave whenever he wants, I guess. Technically. I mean, he could just walk out, right? No, not for that reason, but probably to keep him busy so he's not at home. But yeah, while he hasn't won anything, right? I'm here for it, and here I'll tell you why. Because I think the United States of America has some decent players. I think they have some decent players. I don't think they're all the most amazing players. Well, we have some decent players. Now, from any time that I've watched the United States of America play, I hate their style of play. I hate the way that they were playing. They were literally playing like my high school team. Let's put this into context. My high school team for soccer, for football, right? Soccer, football. Okay. My high school coach, my manager, he kind of knew the sport, but he's not like me and you. He doesn't sit down. He doesn't watch it. He doesn't breathe and live it. He doesn't know the. He also coached lacrosse, I think, and basketball maybe. I think he was more into lacrosse than he was into football. This guy's tactics for our team, and when I tell you, my team, my year, when I was in school, we had a studded team because I knew all of them. We all played like high division teams, very competitive, and then we all went to the same school and we were all in the same year. So it was almost like the golden generation for our high school. And this guy was our coach. He was our manager. And what he did was he told us that the tactics were to take the ball from the midfield and kick it to the corner flag. And when you kick it to the corner flag, the forwards and the wingers have to chase the ball to the corner flag and then put it into the box. And I was like, you seriously, that's the tactics. That's our whole tactics. We're going to take the ball and kick it to the corner flag and run after it. And it was kind of a disaster. If it wasn't for the fact that we all knew how to play football, so we would kind of do that, but then in the middle of the game, we'd kind of just do our own thing and actually play like real football and then win the game. And then he wouldn't say shit because we won, right? So he's not going to yell at us for not kicking the ball to the corner flag when we won the game. But it was crazy, and that's kind of how I see the United States. The last time I was watching them play, like that's literally their whole tactic is just like pass the ball around in the back for a little bit, and then take the ball and like kind of kick it to the corner flag, and like run after it, and then like try to put the ball in the box or something. Which kind of pisses me off. So I'm hoping Pochettino can get them to play like some type of I guess, better style of football. Because I think their players are pretty decent. I think the players are pretty decent. I think they could do a little bit better and just play a little bit more entertaining wise. Um, Lyle's saying Wilcox is technical director, so he will work on technical areas of the football department to achieve the highest standards of performance, which will translate to the youth for easy integration. Yes. Got your back. Always Lyle's always on top of it. Lyle is always on top of it. Richard saying I would let Diego Rossi out of Columbus be on the bench for United. Uh um oh yeah, and then okay, Axe is asking what is lacrosse. Um Field hockey, but the stick has a basket and you basically running around to score a goal. Yeah, technically. It's like a field hockey. The stick has a net. You could pick the ball up inside of the net and the stick, run around, do all types of shit, and then you do one of these, you go and you fling that son of a gun into the net, 100 miles per hour. Yeah, yeah. It's an American thing. It's an American thing. Don't worry about it. It's not that important. We don't. You don't need to know about it. I don't even want to know about it. And I grew up here. Don't worry about it. Any update for the Manuel Ugarte transfer? Well, I'm gonna butcher your name because I suck with names. Fidelis at Chang. Yeah, the updates because you're late. Nah, it's okay. But we talked about it in the beginning. So the updates are here. We'll go through it again just for you, just because you came in here and you got in the chat. I'll go through it again because we're at the end of the stream. So here was the original update from Ben Jacobs. Advanced talks for Ugarte with a loan with obligation formula. United are optimistic. PSG want their £60 million. Clubs much closer to an agreement now. PSG prepared to let talks run into next week if needed. Following that up was that negotiations for Ugarte are in the final stages. The deal will be an initial loan with an obligation to buy. That was from Fabrizio. Then a few hours after that, following both those, Duncan Castles came and said that PSG are now telling him that they expect the deal to be done. They expect to secure the 60 million euro transfer fee they've resolutely asked for. They say that they will not be doing a deal on a loan basis for the first season with an obligation to buy. So, contrary to what they were saying before, where that it was going to be a loan with an obligation to buy, Duncan Castles then came out later on saying that they expect the deal to be done, but it's not going to be a loan with an obligation to buy. And that's maybe partly because maybe Manchester United were looking to do a loan with an obligation to buy. But maybe for optics wise, it might not be the best because if you have an obligation to buy, you're gonna have to pay it anyway. And let's say we get Ugarte and he doesn't have a great first season, we are going to look like idiots. Where then we still have to pay 60 million anyway. So maybe they kind of just want to get the deal done, pay it. That way he's our player and he's our problem, and then we deal with it from that point forward. I don't know. Could be, and it could be something else as well. I also went on to say they want the cash and the full transfer sum as full as possible, which is obvious. Because who wouldn't? If you're selling a player, you obviously want cash and as full of a transfer as possible. That's for anybody. So it kind of kind of a nothing. And then there was this tidbit about how because Sir Jim beat whoever was some dude from Qatar. I don't know if he's related to him or not, but the owner of PSG, um, he wants revenge on Sir Jim for beating him out for getting the club. So he's trying to put his foot down to show Sir Jim that Sir Jim doesn't always get his way, and he's not the big bad boss and this and that, which I kind of thought it was a stretch. It seemed a little too Disney for me. Um, you know, but it is what it is. Um, what else we got? What are you guys saying? Hex Lord saying, "Man, this is like in my country we call it lunga si pi adua." I said that in an Italian accent. Translates as long pass and second pass immediately. Nicely translated. I like that. What's lacrosse? It's not American, it's Irish. Loan obligation to buy, Amrabat style. But Amrabat wasn't obligation. The fee was fixed. But it wasn't an obligation. Obligation means we have to pay. That was the difference. I'm pretty sure on this. I'm like 99% sure. Amrabat was, we'd taken him on loan, and then if we want to buy him, the fee was set. And then if we decide to buy him, we have to pay that fee that they already agreed upon. But we didn't actually have to buy him if we didn't want to. We could back out. If you have an obligation to buy, so if we loan Ugarte with an obligation to pay 60 million, that means come the end of the loan, we must pay 60 million no matter what. We cannot back out of the deal. We have an obligation to pay, and on the date of that obligation must be fulfilled, we pay that obligation. We must buy him. I'm sure that would be somewhere in the contract that if we even tried to pull out, we would accrue some type of a penalty or something like that. So yeah, those are different. Yeah, Americans play. they play it in all high schools now, Richard. They play it in all schools. It might have been like a Catholic school thing, maybe, in the beginning, but it's actually it's pretty popular over here. So they have it in pretty much every school now. Yeah, obligation to buy. You must buy him. Amrabat's deal changed to option in the last seconds of the deadline day, and Fiorentina had no choice but to honor Amrabat's wishes. Let's do that. Oh yeah. All right. It was a very, very good stream. I'm gonna end it. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you for joining. It was really, really good to see you guys, to chat with you guys. We're still missing quite a few of our people, our regulars. I'm sure they'll be back. This is the first one back. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys again and seeing them, to the ones that didn't make it here. It was very, very good. I loved it. Again, I'm just very happy to be back. Very happy to be doing this. It was great. It was a great stream, really. Probably went better than I probably went better than I thought it was gonna go, because I was out of the rhythm for a while. So but it came back like it was like I never left. So yeah, that was good. Now of course, if Ugarte gets signed before we play a match, obviously I'll go live for that. If not, I will see you most we might be able to do a watch along. We might be able to do a watch along this Saturday. Might not. We'll have it scheduled if we're gonna do it. It'll be there. If not, we're obviously gonna be returning with the Red Devil recaps, which we haven't done yet this season because we had one match so far. So we will have a Red Devil recap no matter what. After the match. So be on the lookout for that, and I'll probably see you guys then. Take care, everybody. Be good. You guys said thank you, Eric. Missed the stream. Glad to have you back. It's glad to be back and glad to have you guys back. Thanks, buddy. Glad you are back. Thanks, everyone. Stay safe. Stay out there. Cheers, everyone. GGMU. There we landed. Coming tomorrow. Watch the space. Saying from Lyle. There we landed. I'm gonna think of a good one and I'm gonna use it on the next show. I'm gonna think of a good one. I see you guys later. Enjoy. Thank you to everybody that subscribed. Thank you everybody that smashed the like button. Greatly appreciated. I'll see you guys later. Have a good one. I lost my end button. I don't know where it went. I gotta find it. Catch you guys later. Be good.